Hello. We have one of our guests with us, Dr. Neelu Ghosh, ma'am, Principal, D.D. Chaksi College of Secondary Education, Palanpur, Gujarat. Very welcome, ma'am. We are just waiting for our I, Arun Vastav, Assistant Professor, Department of Physical Education, Swami Vivekanand Subharti University, take this privilege to warmly welcome today's guest of the day, all directors and deans, HOI, HODs, faculty members of the university, delegates, research scholars, and dear student participants. On the day one of this international conference on futuristic trend in education, research, and development in global scenario, organized by Faculty of Education and Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Swami Vivekanand Subharti University, in collaboration with Council for Educational Administration and Management, India. We have our chief guest and dignitaries with us. I would like to welcome and thank who have shared their precious time with us. I would like to inform the House today we have the dignitaries, our chief guest, Professor Seema Singh Ma'am, Honorable Vice Chancellor Rajshri Tandon, Open University, Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh, India. We have with us Major General Dr. G.K. Thapliyal, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Swami Vivekanand Subharti University, Meerut. Also, we have VM Sasi Kumar, sir, National President, Council for Educational Administration and Management, India. Now, I request to Professor Dr. Sandeep Kumar, sir, Dean, Faculty of Education and Head, Department of Physical Education, Professor Dr. Anuj Raj, sir, Head, Department of Education, and Dr. Neetu Pawar, ma'am, Director, IQAC, Swami Vivekanand Subharti University, Meerut, India, to accompany our guest to the dais. Sir, please. शैले शैले न माणिक्यम मोक्तिकम न गजे गजे साधवो ना ही सर्वत्र चंदनम न वने वने. सभी पहाड़ों पर मणि नहीं प्राप्त होती, सभी हाथियों में गजमुक्ता नामक मोती नहीं पाए जाते, सज्जन लोग सभी जगह नहीं पाए जाते, और चंदन का वृक्ष सभी वनों में नहीं पाया जाता. ठीक उसी प्रकार आज इस विद्या के मंदिर में आप सभी गणमान्य विद्वानों की उपस्थिति से ये सभा, ये मंच गौरवान्वित है, और यह हमारा सौभाग्य है कि हम इसमें सम्मिलित हो सके. थैंक यू सर एंड मैम. It is our tradition. It is our tradition to greet and welcome our guest with a sapling. Moving further, I would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to welcome the chief guest of the program, Professor Seema Singh, ma'am. Sapling. Sapling. Okay. Before starting this inaugural session, it's our holy tradition to worship our goddess Saraswati before any important event. I request all our dignitaries on the dais for lamp lighting in front of Ma Saraswati and the students for Saraswati Vandana.
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु विद्यारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः. हे शारदे मां अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे मां. हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। तू स्वर की देवी है, संगीत तुझसे, हर शब्द तेरा है, हर गीत तुझसे। तू स्वर की देवी है, संगीत तुझसे, हर शब्द तेरा है, हर गीत तुझसे। हम हैं अकेले, हम हैं अधूरे, तेरी शरण हम, हमें प्यार दे माँ। हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। ऋषियों ने समझी है, मुनियों ने जानी, वेदों की भाषा, पुराणों की वाणी। ऋषियों ने समझी है, मुनियों ने जानी, वेदों की भाषा, पुराणों की वाणी। हम भी तो समझे, हम भी तो जाने, विद्या का हमको अधिकार दे माँ। हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। हे बस।
Thank you so much for this amazing prayer. Now, proceeding further, it is our tradition to greet and welcome our guest with a sapling. Here, now moving further, I would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir to welcome the Chief Guest, Professor Seema Singh Ma'am, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Rajshri Tandon, Open University, Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh, India. Now, I would like to request Professor Dr. Sandeep Kumar Sir, Dean, Faculty of Education, to welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Major General Dr. G.K. Thapliyal Sir. Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to request Dr. Neetu Pawar, Director, IQAC, to welcome the National President, CEAM India, Dr. V.M. Sasikumarji. I would like to request Dr. Vibha Lakshmi Madam, Associate Professor, Education, to welcome Dean, Faculty of Education, Professor Dr. Sandeep Kumar, sir. I would like to request Dr. Manju Adhikari, ma'am, Associate Professor, Physical Education, to welcome Head Department of Education, Professor Dr. Anoj Raj, sir. Now I would like to request Dr. Mumtaz Sheikh, ma'am, Associate Professor, Physical Education, to welcome Director IQAC, Dr. Neetu Pawar, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. We have some other dignitaries of the dais, and I would like to request Dr. Ruby, ma'am, to please welcome Professor Vaibhav Goyal Bharti, sir, Dean, Law College. Now I would like to request Dr. Bhuvnesh Sharma ma'am to welcome Professor Mahavir Singh sir, Dean Science. I would like to request Dr. Rahul Sirohi sir to welcome Professor R.K. Ghai sir, Dean Management. Sir, please. I would like to request Dr. Deepak Raghav sir to welcome Professor Sudhir Tyagi sir, Dean FASS. I would like to request Mr. Sanjeev Kumar sir to welcome Professor Shokinder Kumar sir, Dean Pharmacy. I would like to request Dr. Ragini ma'am to welcome Professor S.C. Taledi sir, HOD Generalism. Now, I would like to request Dr. Shalini Tiwari ma'am to welcome Dr. Neelu Ghosh, Principal D.D. Chakshi College of Secondary Education, Palanpur, Gujarat. Now, I would like to request Dr. Vibha Lakshmi ma'am, please welcome Minu madam from Rajasthan. I would like to request Dr. Praveen Kumar sir to please welcome Professor Santosh sir. Now, I would like to request Dr. Manju Adhikari madam to please welcome Dr. Madhuri madam. Done? बस हो गया। पूछ लो। Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, proceeding further, I would like to introduce the House with the chairman of this conference, Professor Dr. Sandeep Kumar sir. Sir is presently the Dean in Faculty of Education, Swami Vivekanand Subharti University, Meerut. He is a renowned academician, an effective administrator, and a multidimensional personality. Sir is an alumnus of Lakshmi Bai National Institute of Physical Education, Gwalior, which is a renowned educational institution in India. In addition to this rich educational background, Sir is also a great sports person, as is evident from his participation in All India Inter-University Swimming Championship competition and in various other national tournaments of various other games. He also has a sound academic record with 5 books to his credit, in addition to more than 50 research papers in Scopus and other UGC and peer review journal. He has provided his expert guidance for the award of 11 PhDs and 18 dissertations at PG level. The list is endless and the time is short. So now I request Professor Sandeep Kumar sir for the formal welcome and to give a brief introduction of the theme of this conference. Welcome, sir.
Jai Hind and very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great pleasure to extend you all my warm welcome in this today's international conference on futuristic trends in education, research and development in global scenario, which is being organized by Faculty of Education, University Quality Assurance Cell in collaboration with Council for Education, Administration and Management, CEAM India. I heartily welcome our today's chief guest, Professor Seema Singh Ji Ma'am, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Rajshri Tandon Open University, Prayagraj, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Soinkan Subharti University, Major General G.K. Thapliyal sir, Dr. V.M. Sasi Kumar Ji, the National President, CEAM India. Along with, I welcome our keynote and eminent speakers who will join us online, Professor Martin Oliver from Institute of Education, University College of London, UK, Dr. Ludmila S. Vesuliva, Associate Professor, HSC Campus, St. Petersburg, Russia, and they will join us shortly in online. I also welcome on the dais Dr. Neetu Pawarji, Director IQAC, and Professor Anuj Raj, convener of this conference of the day. I heartily welcome my fellow colleagues, the Dean of Soinkan Subharti University, directors, HODs, HOIs, and all faculty members, delegates from various places in India and abroad, research scholars, and my dear student participants. As I invited to brief the theme of this conference, on this regard, I would like to share my observation. During past few years, due to technical advancement and human-centered philosophy, the current era is one of in which we occurring the exponential rate in all the important areas of life, such as education, research, development, and these are causing a shift of perspective, which is an indication of future tendencies in each of these fields. The emphasis in education is shifting to a practical strategy with a tendency towards skill-based education. It places a strong emphasis on utilizing modern technology and fusing entertainment in education to give students a holistic and all-round personality development that will help in the preparation of an unpredictable future. Conference such as this provide an opportunity to discuss about the approaches, the common challenges, sharing best practices, and to find out the pathways to develop in the esteemed field of education as well as research. To grow the learners, adapt and innovative so they can meet the realities of tidal as well as the demand of tomorrow. In the same approach, the Swami Vivekananda Subharati University is also implemented the national education policy, which is also focusing on the holistic education and multidiscipline, interdisciplinary researches in the university with a motto of Vasudev Kutumbakam. It is one of the fact that present education system is not remain isolated from the other nations. So our university is running interdisciplinary courses as having composite research facilities, as we have the diversity of program in one campus and we have different specialties in same campus. I hope today event will serve a catalyst for strengthening international cooperation on the transfer of knowledge. Last but not least, I strongly hope that all the distinguished guests gathered here will offer you the generous support and encouragement for success of this event. Once again, I am most grateful for your cooperation, participation, and support in this international conference. I once again heartily welcome our special guest, UK Singh ji, retired officer from Indian Railways, and all other guests in this house. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your thoughts and describing the theme to the house. Our next eminent speaker is the President for Council for Education, Administration and Management, India, Professor Dr. V.M. Sasikumar, sir. Sir have awarded his doctoral degree from University of Kerala. He has the vast experience of more than 42 years in the field of education. Sir has performed his duties as a principal in Buddha College of Teacher Education, Alopi, Kerala. He has published many papers in national and international journals, co-author, editor of 7 books on education. Sir has associated with government and non-governmental agencies like SCRT, SRC, KSLMA, and etc. Associated with national level non-governmental organizations like CEAM, CTF, etc., and the list is endless. I would like to request our eminent speaker, Professor Dr. V.M. Sasikumar, sir, to address the audience with all your valuable knowledge and experience. Please, sir.
Honorable Vice Chancellor of Swami Vivekananda Subharati University, Major General Dr. G.K. Trapliyal, Honorable Vice Chancellor of UP Rajashri Tandon Open University, Prayagraj, Professor Dr. Seema Singh, and Patron of Council for Educational Administration Management, Uttar Pradesh, respected Professor Dr. Martin Oliver, Institute of Education, University College of Education, London, respected Professor Dr. Shalya Raj, CEO, University, respected Dr. Sandeep Kumar, Dean, Faculty of Education, Subharati University, respected Professor Anoj Raj, Head of the Department of Education, this university, esteemed members of Faculty of Education, Dr. Neelu Ghosh, Principal, D.D. Choksi College of Education, Palanpur, Gujarat, and Chairperson and National Secretary of Council for Education Administration Management, Dr. Madhuri Isave, Associate Professor, Tilak College of Education, Pune, Maharashtra, and National Secretary and Chairperson of Maharashtra, Professor Meenu Singh, a Chairperson of Rajasthan Unit of Council for Education Administration, and Professor JNU Jaipur, esteemed directors, dean, other dignitaries, the officials of Council for Education, Administration and Management, teachers, teacher educators, and students. Good morning to one and all. It is my privilege to address the erudite and enlightened personalities who are assembled here at the inaugural session of the two-day International Conference on Futuristic Trends in Education, Research and Development in Global Scenario, organized by the Faculty of Education, Swami Vivekananda Subharthi University, Meerut, and Council for Educational Administration and Management, CEAM, Uttar Pradesh chapter. When Dr. Ruby, organizing secretary of the conference and state secretary of CEAM, UP chapter, proposed to me the idea of organizing an international conference in collaboration with CEAM in this university. The CEAM agreed wholeheartedly, and then Dr. Ruby told me, asked to wait for a few days for approval from Dean, Faculty of Education, Professor Dr. Sandeep Kumar, and Head of the Department of Education, Dr. Anoj Raj. In between, a lot of queries from the department side came up, and I clarified all their doubts. I would like to thank all those who worked behind this, especially Professor Dr. Sandeep Kumar, Dr. Anoj Raj, and Dr. Ruby for their wonderful efforts to materialize this venture. Being the national president of the organization of CEAM, it is my pleasant duty to share a few things to the august audience regarding the mission and vision of the organization. The Council for Educational Administration and Management is a registered non-governmental professional national organization founded in the year 2019 with headquarters at Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala, for prioritizing the areas and actions of educational administration and management education across the nation and beyond. The cardinal mission and vision of the organization is to foster collective development through multifarious academic initiatives pertaining to the educational realm. The policy of the organization is to combine human and material resources to supervise, plan, strategize, and realize programs and structure pertaining to educational management and administration. I am very proud to say that the organization has many states chapters, and one of the chapter in Bangladesh with full official structure. We have instituted 2 awards under the head of CEAM, and you will be going to witness the 2 awards presenting to 2 dignitaries here. Due to paucity of time and the intimation, I don't want to speak much about the conference and other things. I would like to sum my speech. In a nutshell, I must say, in order to make all these things practicable, institutions need to undertake a reform that will endure in a change of the world. Let me wind up the address. I would like to appreciate the entire team of the department for their untiring effort for choosing this pertinent and relevant theme and sub-themes for the conference. And I congratulate each one of you who involved directly or indirectly for the success of the conference. Thank you. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for acquainting us with various aspects of Council for Educational Administration and Management, India. Thank you again, sir, for appreciating our efforts in the organization of this international conference. Thank you, sir. Now we would be connecting with our international keynote speaker, Professor Martin Oliver, and I request the IT team to kindly connect us to him.
Okay, thank you. Are you ready for me to start the talk? Okay. First, I'd like to say thank you very much for the invitation to join you today. It's an honor to be part of your event, and I would like to extend my thanks to the organising committee for setting up the event, and particularly to Dr. Ruby for all her work in helping us prepare to take part in this. So what I'm going to do today is talk about teacher education, but specifically I'm going to try to link this to the two themes that have been identified in the conference title. So before I move on to the talk, just to say the URL I've put on this first slide, all of the slides that I'm using today will be available from that link. So if you'd like to get access to the slides, which include all the references that I'm going to use in the materials to present, you can access the slides from that link. All of the slides that I'm using today will be available from that link. So if you'd like to get access to the slides, which include all the references that I'm going to use. So what I'm going to start talking about is the idea of education as being a global concern, and specifically teacher education as a global concern within that. I don't think much of what I'm going to say in that section will be a surprise to people. I think these are well understood issues. I'm then going to move on to thinking about what makes something global and how this relates to the conference theme of futuristic trends. What I'd like to do also at this point is to thank my colleagues, Dr. Jade Henry, who was instrumental in helping me prepare this talk. Later on, I'll be talking about some work that she led on. I wanted to acknowledge her interest in this my colleagues, Dr. Jade Henry, who was instrumental in helping how this relates to the conference theme. So to start, I wanted to just set the scene in terms of things that will probably be familiar to many people, framing education as a global concern. So here, for example, are some UNESCO statistics and some United Nations reports talking about education as a global concern. So in terms of the volume of teachers needed to provide children with education, also in terms of the impact of global effects such as the COVID-19 pandemic and the effect that that's had on learning across the world. So the number of children who've missed out on educational opportunities, the way that it's made entrenched inequalities worse, the number of learners who may never return to school because of it. But these combine to frame education as a global matter, as a global concern. And one of the things which is important in terms of trying to address this is to think about what we can do to engage that volume of people, that scale of the problem. This quote from one of my colleagues, Diana Laurillard: wherever we look around the globe or in our own backyards, we can see that more and better education is needed, but the scale of the problem cannot be tackled through traditional technologies for teaching. When you measure student numbers in billions, staff-student ratios of 1 to 30 make no impact at all, so the problem of scale is challenging. And particularly here, Diana was concerned with the idea of not just broadcasting to students, but supporting students in learning, responding to them, knowing about them, learning about them, understanding them, and adapting the teaching to them. And this is something where class sizes have remained fairly constant. The idea that as the class gets bigger, the educational experience tends to get worse. So that often you see ratios of about between 1 to 25 and 1 to 40 as kind of conventional in terms of educational practice. And in that sense, scaling up to millions of pupils who need teachers means millions of teachers. So this is the problem that she was trying to engage with. So she was arguing that in order to achieve economies of scale, new technologies would be needed in order to help achieve this, and she was interested in particular things like massively open online courses or MOOCs. Now, what I want to do is start interspersing these ideas of technologies which might help us with critical theories about what achieving scale might involve. So this refers to the idea of economies of scale, organizational practices that make goods cheaper because more are being produced, comprising one kind of business scalability. Business scalability is about expansion for growth and profits, and this was a tenet of 20th century progress. The World Bank only funded village projects if they were scalable, that is, if they could be spread to other villages without changing project elements. Indeed, the way you could tell if an institution was modern and developed as opposed to backward was if it was big. Bigness was progress. So this is part of work by Anna Singh, and I'll refer to her work a few times in this presentation, which is exploring what global means, how global is achieved in relation to local practices. And one of the reasons that I've got this particular image I'm quite interested in the idea of container technologies and the way that the standardization of size and space enabled the rapid transfer of global connections, because ships could be loaded and unloaded faster, but at the cost of diversity in terms of how things were moved about and shipped. The experience of diversity was pushed to the local level in order to standardize the international elements of this. So the issues of globalization and scale aren't just about teacher education, it affects the whole of universities. So this is just a side note to recognize that fact. So only 10 years ago, MOOCs were predicted to be replacing universities to lead to the advent of mass instruction, outsourced assessment, private competition, and global competition, global markets. So this from a report in the UK about the combination of marketization and globalization will lead to universities being benchmarked globally, a leading path of the growth of knowledge economics. The learner will be in the driver's seat with a keen eye trained on value. For institutions, deciding to embrace this new world may turn out to be the only way to avoid the avalanche that is coming. Just as an avalanche shapes the mountains, so the changes ahead will fundamentally alter the landscape for universities. And the thing I want to draw out from this in particular is the way in which it presents the future as inevitable. That technology is going to change everything for universities, that there is no avoiding this. And this, I think, is a really important piece of rhetoric to hold on to in relation to a conference that's about globalization and futures. Because scales are political. This is an important part of Anna Zing's work, is that the idea of scale is not just something we find, it's something that's created. So she talks about scale as a spatial dimensionality necessary for a particular kind of view, whether up close or from a distance, microscopic or planetary. Her argument is that scale is not just a neutral frame for viewing the world, it must be brought into being, proposed, practiced, and evaded, as well as taken for granted. Scales are claimed and contested in cultural and political projects. A globalism is a commitment to the global, and there are multiple overlapping and somewhat contradictory globalisms. And this point in particular I want to hold on to, the idea that there is not one global. There are many globals, many ways of being global. And this, I think, is something important in terms of giving us choice and freedom about how we move forward from this point. So these things are not just found, they are created. So a project that makes us imagine globality in order to see how it might succeed is a kind of scale-making project. The scales they conjure, I like the word conjure here, it suggests a kind of sleight of hand or magic, an achievement of something which is not necessarily fact, but is created, come into being in part through contingent articulations into which they are pushed or stumbled. In a world of multiple divergent claims about scales, including multiple divergent globalisms, the global worlds that most affect us are those that manage to tentatively produce linkages with other scale-making projects. So the important thing here is about how a particular vision of what is global is connected to other visions, of regionalism, of nationalism, or of other kinds of globalism. And these connections become important when you think about situated practices such as learning and teaching. I think it's particularly interesting to be raising these kind of questions at a university that's famous for its work in areas such as sports. It's an area which is notoriously hard to scale up in a technological sense. So thinking about what this kind of globalism might mean for this institution as opposed to some other institution is a very meaningful kind of problem to start grappling with. So often technology is positioned as a mechanism for achieving scale, and I think the important thing here is that it can help achieve scale, but in a particular way and at a price. So this analysis of scaling, the politics of scaling, was undertaken, and one of the things that was identified in this analysis by looking at a series of cases was this element, the affinity for solutionism, that is the framing of a problem diagnosis in response to readily available, often technological solutions. Solutionist thinking is closely related to notions of technical fixes and technology optimism. So the technological fix is a short-term solution which hides the underlying problem and actually can make it worse by giving it time to exacerbate, to develop. But it makes a superficial appearance of progress, often by introducing new technology. So in this approach, problems are cut into smaller discrete pieces that warrant ready-made solutions, which are in turn owned or controlled by specialized organizations or individuals. Alternative problem framings that might benefit different groups of actors are thus frequently sidelined. So there are two issues here to be aware of in this move towards scaling things up and working towards globalization. One of them is this sort of political economy and the literal economy around educational practice, teacher education. So if we're relying on things like MOOCs, who are the providers? Who benefits from the advertising revenue? How are education experiences packaged and commercialized. But there are also problems here in terms of standardizing what gets overlooked, ignored, or effaced. So how, in order to make things fit a standard model, are other things ignored? One of the things that they also analyze in this study of these cases is the relationship between scaling and future. So they talk here particularly about Uber as an example. It's describing how Uber's scalability ambitions and those of its peers are tied up with a venture capital logic that expects disproportionate profits from one blockbuster out of a portfolio of many startups. Within this logic, each company must make grand claims to scalability while knowing, along with their investors, that most will fail or end up as components of other systems. Uber has become a symbol of the speculative investments in unison with a move fast and break things attitude in the hope of future monopolistic revenue. So in investing rapidly, in growing rapidly, what they're trying to do is create a world in which it's impossible to imagine Uber not existing, in which Uber becomes the default and everyone organizes their thinking around them as a business. So even though they're losing money rapidly, the securing of what they see as market share becomes politically important to squeeze others out, give them a monopoly on the future. And they draw this point out. The politics of scaling up are thus intensely future-oriented businesses that often get entwined with claims to a common good. What's at stake in visions of transformation and scalability and the valuation of instruments and practices that undergird them is control over the future. So this is why I think really important to think about scale as a connection between globalization and futures in terms of the conference themes today. The consequence of this kind of move to control the future is that futures make us anticipate them, and therefore control our actions in the present. So this is an analysis that was undertaken about universities in the UK, but it's talking about the anticipatory regimes of imagining the future. So we not only imagine the future, but discipline our present being and becoming in order to minimize the risks of a future which is felt as inevitable in the present. So in anticipating it, we shape what we do currently. So this anticipatory regime reproduces coloniality and in doing so denies alternative knowledges and imaginaries. In the context of education, for example, international projects, so they're deliberately putting that into quotes, these aren't inherently international, they're made international through the kinds of claims made about them, to standardize meanings, forms, contents and purposes of education, which can be compared and even traded as commodities across institutions and countries as part of the knowledge economy, such as the OECD's PISA, the Assessment of Higher Education Learning Objectives, the European Bologna Process, impose narrowly instrumentalist, capitalist, Eurocentric epistemologies and criteria of value on the entire world. They also delegitimize and erase their alternatives. What they try and do then is move on to consider what alternatives there might be. So there are a number of things that they suggest as critical anticipatory practice, moving between four acts. So the first is a rehabilitative one. So rather than looking to the future, we look to past knowledges and possibilities that remain latent in the present. In terms of the next step is a utopian one of imagining other realities that might emerge. Then there's a disappointing one of learning that these things are limited, and finally this creative one of actively pursuing the realization of alternatives by transforming the conditions of possibility that give rise to it. I'm going to move rapidly through, as I'm aware that we're very short of time, to think about just returning to the opening point about MOOCs. The problem with MOOCs that was initially identified was the sense in which they were standardizing broadcasting, the ways in which they treated the world as if it were the same and imposed a logic on them. My colleagues have then responded to this, trying to think about co-development of MOOCs and situated MOOCs in terms of local knowledges, trying to negotiate these as things which are conversationally based, about sharing practices in a much more sustainable way. So just to wrap this up, conclusion, the education obviously is a common concern to people around the world, and it's really important obviously that we carry on working towards this. But I do want to highlight the politics of the global frames of education, the ways in which they tend to focus us on abstractions and standards which have been imposed. They have not consensually agreed. They are driven forward by a logic of competition and market. And they only reflect one possible way of thinking about what education is, what it's for, how it benefits people. Presenting those things as global makes them seem inevitable, but that is only achieved by hiding the alternatives that are squeezed out, the differences that in fact take place in local contexts. And I just want to end by suggesting that thinking about global scenarios in future, we should remember the value that remains in the local knowledges and careful comparisons that we leave behind. I want to end with just this one thought from Anna Zing about the value of things that don't scale so well. As she points out, ecological complexity is non-scalable, and so is love, and we value these things. Thank you.
So that was Professor Martin Oliver, our keynote speaker of this inaugural session, who is a pro-director of academic development in Faculty of Education. So that was Professor Martin Oliver, our keynote speaker of this inaugural session. Sir is pro-director for academic development in Faculty of Education, University College of London, United Kingdom. Sir, thank you so much for elaborating upon a very important dimension of this international conference. Now, we have got the next speaker, again, who will be connecting with us online all the way from Russia, Dr. Lyudmila S. Veselova. May I request the organizing team to connect us to her?
I don't know. Good morning, dear colleagues. I don't know if you could see me and hear me well. So, do you see me?
Jai Hind and Namaskar. The organizing committee of this international conference extends a very warm welcome to you on this online platform. The international conference being organized by Faculty of Education, Swami Vivekanand Subharti University, in collaboration with Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Swami Vivekanand Subharti University, and Council for Educational Administration and Management India, has a very interesting and relevant theme, that is futuristic trend in education, research, and development in global scenario. We have Dr. Lyudmila S. Veselova as our next speaker, who is an associate professor at High School of Economics campus, St. Petersburg, Russia. It is my privilege to have the opportunity of introducing her. Madam Veselova has a rich educational background with a PhD from Kazan Federal University, Russia, as well as master's and bachelor's degree in Asian and African Studies from St. Petersburg State University, Russia. She has been receiving constant training and continuing her education from various online as well as offline sources like Beijing Renmin University, Free University of Berlin, University of Turku, Wuhan Normal University, etc. She has published several thesis papers and attended a number of courses. She remains active on academic platform, as is evident by her attendance in numerous conferences and seminars. She has been an author of several book chapters as well as articles. Listening to her words will indeed be a memorable experience, and hence I request Madam Lyudmila S. Veselova to kindly address the audience. Ma'am will be elaborating on the sub-theme Research for Social, Emotional, and Psychological Well-being.
Good morning, dear colleagues. So thank you so much for invitation. So for me, it is an honor to be.
Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for invitation. So for me, it is an honor to
Over to you, ma'am.
The part of this conference. So thank you so much, and I will try to show my slides. I hope that you will share. You will see the presentation. One moment. Could you please tell me if you could see the presentation?
Over to you, ma'am.
Over to you, ma'am. The part of this conference. So thank you so much for invitation. So for me, it is an honor to be.
Over to you, ma'am.
The presentation. One moment. Could you please tell me if you could see the presentation?
Not yet, ma'am.
Okay, sorry, maybe we will need some more moments to start. So, dear colleagues, like Elsa, I would like to identify that we had some changes in the code because of OpenAI. We thought we had project-based learning as main trend in Russian universities. I'm sorry, it seems that maybe it was not changed. Sorry, could you see my presentation now?
No, ma'am.
Mm.
Sorry, ma'am. No,
Could
ma'am.
I ask IT team to help me because I could see the presentation on the screen, but I don't know why you don't see it. Okay, colleagues. Yeah, now you could see, I guess, my presentation, right?
It's visible now, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, like, one more time, good morning, dear colleagues. So, as I told, the report title is Project-Based Learning as a Main Trend in Russian Universities. So, for today, during my brief report, because we have quite lack of time, so I would like to share with you how was the dynamic and development and changing actually the role of modern university and how it was like in my country, in Russia. So first of all, we understand that nowadays universities became not just like study platforms, the place where students receive knowledge, but also, of course, universities started to become the places where our students has first career steps. And of course, for us as a university, it is of high importance that our students can easily find a job places after the graduation. I would like to say that unfortunately in Russia for quite a long time, so for universities, the most important was to teach students and their life after graduation was not that much of great importance. So that is why like during 1990s, 2000s, we have a number of situations when universities have graduates of the same specialization, and as a result, the students were not able afterwards to find its place on the labor market. Of course, it has a very negative consequences because most of the graduates needed to change their specialization or go one more time for another education specialization. But then we could see that in 2010, so in Russia started to appear some changes. And one of the change, it was the implementation of the project activity and project learning in the study curriculum. So until the 2010s in Russia, there were no culture of project activity in education system. And unfortunately, it was quite low entrepreneurial activity among the youth. So if we will compare Russian education system with this, like for example, in India, in China, in the United States, in Europe, you will see huge differences. If you could see that in European countries and in America, so there are so many students startups and entrepreneurial activity among the young population. So unfortunately in Russia for a long time, so students were really scared to make these steps because during the education they didn't have such kind of experience. Of course, when such project-based education was implemented in the system, so a lot of very important questions arise, and of course, Russian education system needed to solve it. So some of the questions you could see on the screen, so it was not clear at what stage we should teach our students about commercial or social potential. So in which universities we have possibility to have different entrepreneurial competitions. And of course, how we can implement student in this entrepreneurial atmosphere. So we could see that from 2010, Russian education system passed a very huge development, and we could say that, of course, with help of the Russian government, so we were able to implement this project-based education, not just on the university level, but also on the school level. So since 2016, on the governmental level was taking course to expand the practice of mass project-based learning, so both in school and university level. But of course, also here we needed to solve a lot of questions. So we needed to train specialists who could be able to teach students and pupils industrial and entrepreneurial experience. So we also needed to find very reliable partners who will be interested, to engage with like students and school children. And of course, we needed to implement and make some courses for teachers, because this is totally another way of education. So I could say that High School of Economics, or like a brief name of our university, is HEC, so one of the leading university in Russia. And from 2014, so officially our university was able to make really crucial changes in our study plans. So from 2014, for already almost 10 years, 20% of study plan of BA and MA students level. So we have internship, project, and research work. So this such kind of activity is compulsory part of education of BA and MA students. And of course, like most of Russian universities after HEC also started to implement such project-based education. What was our main goals? We wanted to solve real problems for future professional activity. We wanted to provide to students opportunity to make a real research, so to make projects that are going on now, not in the future. We wanted students to know how to make a teamwork, how to meet deadline, and actually to be more responsible for the results. Because like this is like outstanding feature of the Russian youth, but actually for the global youth, that they don't want to make some, like approximate project or some hypothetical project. They would like to make applied projects. They would like to work with real tasks, and of course, such like project-based education so can help to do it. So for nowadays, in most of the Russian universities, we have 3 types of projects. So we have research projects, applied one, and service. And also such project can be divided into 2 types by customers. So it can be internal, when like the customer is from inside the university, or it can be external. Of course, by such project learning, we were able to work more tightly with business and with like governmental organs, and of course make education more applied than it was before. The thing is that in Russia, most of the universities are governmental one, so we don't have private universities. So this is why for like Russian universities to work with business is not something essential, is not something, obvious. So for us, it was quite a challenge how to work with external customers and how to attract business sector to work more with universities. So also now in our universities and in most universities in Russia, it was implemented a special electronic instrument or tool. This is a special platform which called Project Fair. So nowadays, any like employee of the HEC can very easily using its like user profile, launch the project, and this is why it can work more active with HEC students. So nowadays, like 2 main types how we cooperate with students. It's project study groups and project laboratories. So you could see some numbers on the screen. You could see that quite a lot of like students and professors already engaged in these project activities. And of course, during the period of time, we will also be able to provide some like benefits, like financial support to students if they participate in such project activity. The new stage of this project-based learning started to be project service learning. So this is like a learning methodology using socially significant projects. And we could see that modern students are really interested in such like projects where they can provide real help to different social institutions or organizations. So on the slide, we could see some successful examples of significant projects. And just to come to conclusion, because we don't have a lot of time for discussion, So I would like to say that we consider that not just for Russian education system, but for global education system in common, project-based learning can have a lot of advantages. And of course, you could see that like all the participants, including professors, students, and business representatives, can have just advantage from such kind of activity. And of course, also project-based learning can be made international one, can be made global one, and we have a lot of cases when we cooperate with foreign companies and foreign universities. So this is why for nowadays Russian universities are also very interested in cooperation with our Indian colleagues. And so if you will have any ideas or wish to cooperate with Russian universities, like in the base on any kind of student project, we are highly welcome to do it together. So thank you so much for like providing me opportunity to deliver this report. So it was a pleasure and honor for me to participate in your conference. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. That was amazing delivery of views by Professor Vasilova, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. We are enriched and very fortunate to hear you. I thank you so much on the behalf of Faculty of Education, Swami Vivekanand, Subharti University. Thank you so much for giving your precious time with us. Thank you so much. Now I am opportune to speak about Chief Guest Professor Seema Singh. Thank you, ma'am, for coming here. I, Dr. Manju, Associate Professor, Department of Physical Education. On the behalf of whole entire committee, I welcome you again, ma'am. It's my pleasure to introduce our Chief Guest, Professor Seema Singh. Professor Seema Singh is presently working as Vice Chancellor UP Rajshri Tandon Open University, Prayagraj. Before joining as Vice Chancellor, she was working as Professor in Faculty of Education, BHU, Kamacha, Varanasi. She did MSc in Botany, switched over the field of education and got gold medal in AMET, Kashi Vidyapeeth, Varanasi. She obtained her PhD SGRF Faculty of Education, BHU. She holds also a certificate in computing, teacher's certificate, and postgraduate diplomas. She has interested and experience in the field of special education and education psychology. She has published more than 80 papers, 10 books, completed one minor project and one a major project, research project of UGC with one project sponsored from NUPA. She has organized more than 45 seminars and workshops. She is member of several education associations and has edited, translated reading material and distance education also. She also got experience of part-time faculty IGNU Study Center, BHU, and academic counselor of B.Ed, M.Ed, M.A. classes of IGNU. She also has 2 years experience of working as coordinator of Study Center, Madhya Pradesh, Bhuj Open University, Bhopal. She has worked from 4 years as coordinator of Center of Disability Studies, School of Education under Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teacher and Teaching, is also president of AAE BHU. Her mission of life is to work unrelentingly is in the field of education and towards rehabilitation of special need children. So, and this is not it. Her profile is huge and extremely impressive, so that much not time to possible to introduce is such a short time. So here I would like to call our chief guest, Professor Seema Singh, on the stage and share her inspiring views with us. Please welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Greetings to all the dignitaries on the dais. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Major General G.K. Thapalial, Dr. V.M. Sasikumar, National President of CEAM, Professor Martin Oliver from UK, Dr. Mila S. Veselova from Russia, Professor Sandeep Kumar, Dean Faculty of Education, Professor Anuj Raj, Head Department of Education, Meetu, you are Meetu? Meetu, organizer of the conference, resource persons, participants, online connected participants, and everyone, namaskar to all. I'm feeling honored to be part of this international conference and grateful to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Thapalial, Major General Thapalial ji, and I also want to thank Sasi Kumar ji for being instrumental in bringing me here and giving me the opportunity to interact with you all. This conference is jointly organized by Faculty of Education, IQAC, and in collaboration with CEAM. It is my pleasure to be part of this conference and visit the awesome campus of this university and meeting to you all people. The theme Futuristic Trends in Education, Research and Development in Global Scenario is quite relevant and significant in the present scenario. Today, we are gathered here to discuss future trends of education and research. So if we look back to our ancient past heritage, we can understand that the Indian vision of education always realized on holistic and interdisciplinary education and development of body, mind, and soul. In ancient India, the Gurukul education, which you all know very well, was a perfect model of holistic education, where gurus mentored their students through experiential learning and educating them with the study of Vedas, culture, astronomy, science, self-defense, life skills, and community engagement. Higher education institutions like Takshila, Vikramshila, Vallabhi, Nalanda, they were established on highly formalized principles of holistic education and multidisciplinary learning also. Because of this exclusive quality of education, students from different countries flocked to Indian Learning Center, and its glorious past was known as Vish Guru, as we all know. India's culture considered the world as one family, and progress in India is a part of and contribute the progress in the whole world. Bharat will again become Vishwaguru, or you can say world teacher, owing to the Gurukul of the quality of learning as was prevalent in ancient India. We are traditionally rich in all the values, and as you can see that we have massive changes. We have got massive changes in education. We have reached from Gurukul to modern, these type of smart classes. You can say that is from Gurukul to modern school and online classes. We have shifted the massive change you can see in education system of India. The Macaulay system of education introduced in mid-19th century destroyed the real soul of education, real soul of ancient Bharatiya pedagogy. We must integrate the Bharatiya soul of pedagogy and education with the current learning system to make it relevant in 21st century. Recently, as in NEP 2020, it adopted the global system of education. And if we provide holistic and multidisciplinary education, as NEP mandate was there to our student, they can be nurtured as well-rounded individual, and their personality will be grow like anything. Such youths which have Indian roots and global outlook, it will be a boon for making an Atmanirbhar Bharat while addressing the challenge of 21st century. The second important thing in trends, I must say, it is a research. Research is a crucial area where we have to ponder upon. Research is a creative pursuit which needs truthful, honest, just, and replicable. Research should not be focused on personal interest or getting the degree of doctorate. So it is it should be not just related with personal achievement. Good research should not be focused on, sound questions, appropriate methodology, appropriate designing, and some logical, transparent, it should be logical, transparent, novel, and relevant. And the result should be for welfare of the society. The result should not be on the racks of the library. It should be beneficial for the society. So establishment of research culture is very important. A research ecosystem should be established in the university so that you can develop a curious researcher in your university or colleges. In Samagam, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji once said that we should, the concept of lab to land and land to lab. It gives a very clear-cut message that research results should be used in the field and the problems of field should be solved in the labs. So, and it is also estimated that that by 2020, more than 20 Indian higher education universities will be among top 20 universities of the world. And it is also estimated that India will be among the world's top 5 countries in the field of research and development with the annual spend of $140 billion. I think the research should be the new area of research. The trends of research will be on aging population, on AI, artificial intelligence, big data, on altered genetic resource circulation, on alternative curriculum, alternative nutrition, animal welfare, cheaper food, climate change, biodiversity, diet-related chronic diseases, renewable energy, healthy lifestyle, organic farming, and robotics. And overall, quality education is very necessary, and quality education is one that focuses on overall development. It prepares the child for life. And if we consider the 4 pillars of education mentioned in the report of UNESCO, that are 4 pillars: learning to be, learning to know, learning to do, and learning to live together. If we follow these pillars, I think we will get a quality education very soon. And as mentioned in National Education Policy also, if the reforms embodied in NEP 20 to restore the quality in our education system through student-centric education, like skill development programs, experiential learning, innovative-driven pedagogical pathways, robust evaluation tools, multiple entry and multiple exit options, integration of technology, and the most important is education in mother tongue. Education is mother tongue is very important, and NEP has also given this concept. So collaborations are also very important. As we can see, we are collaborating with Russia, with UK, and various universities also. And the third thing which I want to say that the technology, use of technology is very important nowadays. The trend has been changed, and Corona has given us the way to proceed on. So educational technology, use of more educational technology, use of resources, they will help us in trending fast and getting a good education. So the world is rapidly changing, and observation on ongoing trends will help to shape education accordingly. Thus, education must be designed and implemented to empower the youth through proper training, skilling, and character building. So I hope that in these 2 days, the conference deliberation by resource persons, the idea generated from them will be very fruitful, and it will be help in proceeding towards quality education. Thank you very much. I again congratulate all the organizers, and thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your thoughts. And I must say, when you visit our campus, you will find it very patriotic and unique. And as you have talked about the holistic and multidisciplinary educational approach for the nourishment and to grow our student independently, which will help them to create Atmanirbhar Bharat. Very well said, ma'am. Thank you for your experience and these words. Now, proceeding further, we have with us Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir of Swami Vivekanand Subharti University, Major General Dr. G.K. Thapliyal sir. Sir, I would like to request, sir, to please launch the e-souvenir of this international conference. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am. Before proceeding further, we have one of our special guests with us. I would like to request Dr. Ruby ma'am to welcome our special guest, Mr. U.K. Singh, retired government officer, Indian Railway Traffic Services. Can you please, ma'am? Thank you so much, sir, for giving your valuable time with us. Now, to proceed further, I would like to introduce our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. Sir was commissioned in the Indian Army in 1980. And thank you so much, sir. ये आपका बड़प्पन है. Thank you so much.
Jai Hind. Chief guest for this international seminar, Professor Dr. Seema Singh ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Rajshri Tandon Open University, Prayagraj, Dr. P.V. Shashi Kumarji, National Director for CEAM, other distinguished guests sitting on the dais, Mr. V.K. Singh ji, all invited guests, Dean, heads of the department, faculty members, and my dear students. A warm welcome and namaskar to all of you. At the outset, I would like to congratulate and thank the organizing committee, Faculty of Education, IQAC, and CEAM, the Council of Education, Administration, and Management, for having organized this conference in collaborations and in a hybrid mode. I also thank the organizing committee for making this an international conference by inviting our international speaker from UK and from Russia. I thank you and compliment and congratulate you for this. See, theme of the conference is aptly taken. What is the futuristic trend in education and in research and development? Why we are talking about the futuristic trend? There is a reason for that. Because the world is going through a transformation everywhere. See our geopolitical situation, the way it is changing. Our geopolitical relations in the country is changing. Our economic relationship with the country and the world changing very fast. And in the context of India, if we think and if we say that what is our target? For that purpose, 2030 is going to be a very, very important year for India. Why I say so? Because 2030, our national goals are, first, by 2030, India would have adopted the national education policy in toto. We are in the process of adopting national education policy, but there are many ifs and doubt, ifs and buts. Not many apex bodies are coming forward and adopting this national education policy. The dialogues happening between the various bodies, and I'm sure by 2030, the national education policy will be implemented. Second target, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. These are 17 goals. By 2030, India would achieve all the goals. And particularly, the goal number 4, which pertains to education. Our emphasis, our focus is on goal number 4. That has to be achieved, and we are sure we will achieve it. Third point is India wants to become 5 trillion economy by 2030. How do we become 5 trillion economy? There's a deliberations, there is a process, there is a thought process going on in this direction at the national level, and how education is going to contribute in that direction, that is also happening at various levels. Fourth is, by 2030, our gross enrollment ratio in higher education would reach to minimum 50%, which is at present between 27 to 30%. How is that going to happen? The process transformation is happening. And as of now, thought process is that only online education is important. Only online education will be able to help us to achieve that goal. Last but the least is India wants to become hub of the education and wants to become Vishwaguru, wants to become world leader. Again, not wants to become, it was, India was, but it wants to regain that status of Vishwaguru once again. How all these happen, all these will happen, we need to deliberate upon that. In my opinion, it will happen, but it will happen with the change of the mindset of the people. Change of the mindset of the people, first thing, we will have to give up that colonial mindset, which made us slave, which made us just ready for job, which made us lazy. That colonial mindset we will have to drop. And if you remember the Prime Minister in his Panch Pran, he mentioned this one, that we will have to drop this colonial mindset of the people. That is important. We'll have to give. Second part, that change of mindset is required at every level. And these labels are first the policy maker, who are making policies for education. Because education will play a major role. Why education will play a major role? Because our biggest strength of today is our youth, our students. They are the biggest strength. How we utilize them for the future, how we make them future ready, that is the job, that is the task of education establishment, whether it is you take it from the primary to the higher education. So how do we make them future ready? That is the futuristic trend we are talking about in education. So mindset at the level of policymaker, they are already in the process of changing the mindset. The government is working on it, and our Honorable Prime Minister is taking interest, 100% interest in this. He is himself monitoring everything, what is happening in the field of education, particularly how this implementation process of new education policy going on. Because everything is there in the national education policy. Right from the core values, it is rooted into the ethos of Indian culture and tradition. At the same time, it talks about the modern education, use of technologies, AI, use of data science, everything. So it's a complete amalgamation of values, science, and spirituality. So if values, science, and spirituality come together and education adopts them all three components, so whatever the student we are making or we are imparting knowledge, skill along with these three, he is going to be a perfect human being. He is going to be a perfect human being with the knowledge, with the skill, with the values, and with our tradition and ethos. And then he will, another part of our education is that we have to instill the value, instill that kind of a confidence in every student that he feels proud in being Indian. And that process wasn't there earlier. That is why I said that mentality of colonial. We'll have to drop that. We should take pride in our values. We should take pride in our ethos. We should take pride in our culture. We should take pride in our own language. That is why now education will be available in all languages, whatever, the technical education or the medical education or other education will be available to the student in their own mother tongue. But only teaching them in the mother tongue will not make them globally competent and global ready, internationally ready. So at the same time, you will have to learn your language, the English and other foreign languages, if that university decides to start courses in other foreign languages. So ultimately, what is going to be the future? Future is going to be the use of technologies, use of multiple languages, use of artificial intelligence, use of different modes of teaching, all these things going to happen. And ultimately, it will be a student-centric policy, a student-centric education. A teacher from the classroom cannot teach the subject at same level to all students who are sitting in that classroom, because they have a different level of uptake. So teacher will have to identify the person or the student at what level he is and how to reach to that level, how to bring him at par with all other levels. So that student-centric approach is going to happen. And another is that innovation, critical thinking, and analytical mind developing. That will be the another area of teacher. So all for this, you need to change the mindset of the teacher. How the teacher's mindset is changed, because now they will have to not that kind of a teaching in the classroom, just whatever he needs, he has to or she has to update himself or herself with the knowledge and then transfer that knowledge with the value to the student. So updated knowledge, not that knowledge which he or she read about 10 or 20 or 5 years back, that is not going to help. Similarly, as Madam mentioned, the evaluation pattern we will have to get away with the current evaluation pattern which comes in the marks and other things. Some evaluation pattern we will have to design our own, how to get the best out of students. So these are the mindset I'm talking about. Change. The mindset of the student, again, needs to be changed. The mindset of the student will not be only for job finding. After my course, after my program, what kind of a job do I get? It's very, very important for a student to think. But a student will have to see what is the requirement in the present market, which skill is required, and that requirement, the demand of this skill is changing very fast. Today, you need this skill. After 2 years, maybe when you come to first year, some different skill is required. By the time you pass out after 3 years or 4 years, your skill will be kind of obsolete and you will need another skill. So knowledge and skill you will have to earn. You will have to really go for a skill. So that is important. And second thing, not only job related things you will have to go for, you will have to think of entrepreneurship. What is my best strength and what kind of a job or what kind of a work I can do? For that, you need analytical mind, a critical thinking, and you need institutional support. You need faculty support. So this combination together will change the education. One more thing, I will not take much time. The way the technology is advancing, artificial technologies, data science, that classroom teaching is going to be abandoned. What will happen in that case when a robot comes and teaches you. And robot now coming with the kind of a consciousness that scientists are very, very positive about it. They will be able to produce robot which has a consciousness. So if robot comes and in the classroom and teaches, it is already available as of now. If you want to make your presentation or if you want to make your thesis, everything is ready. You can make the help of the technology. So teacher's role will be intermediate between the technology and the human being. So for that, teacher will have to learn new skill, how to become an intermediary between a human and machine. That skill teacher will have to learn. So these are the futuristic trend, and similarly in the field of research and development, what kind of a research and development do we need now in our country? We don't need a fundamental kind of a research or something. We need research which is beneficial to society. The outcome of the research directly reaches to the our stakeholder, like farmer, like industrialist, like anybody. So you will have to, the student or researcher will have to find what is the present day requirement in the society and how we can make their life better. How can we make agriculture more producing? But how can we make other things with the help of the research? So that research is also going to be a kind of not a fundamental research. So every student should get this thing in your mind that I must do some research to make our society healthy, make our society very progressive, and the quality of life in the society should improve. That is the fundamental kind of objective of research we should have. So these are the going to be, you can go ahead now and say what is the future trend and how with the future we are keeping ourselves updated. So this updation is very, very important. And this kind of a conferences, this kind of a webinar, international, we learn from each other. That is the thing. And we learn throughout life. Learn from each other, learn lifelong. That is the present day concept of learning. With those, I thank you, and I wish a great success for the seminar, for the conference. I'm sure the participants will benefit a lot from the seminar, and those our guest speakers and madam spokes, I hope you carry those points, important points, carry home and deliberate upon those points, not just यहाँ से सुना और यहाँ से निकाल दिया और उसके बाद भूल गए, दूसरी कॉन्फ्रेंस में फिर चले. Please, anything you learn from anybody, just think over it and make your own opinion. That is very, very important. So with those words, I thank you once again. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for these valuable words. Every time I listen you, it will add more knowledge to me. Learning from each other and conducting the research which will give something new addition to the society. Those valuable words are really very important for us in the futuristic trend. Now, proceeding further, it is the time for the awarding some awards from the CEAM. I would like to request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Major General Dr. G.K. Thapalial, Sir, VM Sasikumar Ji, and all the dignitaries on the dais to present the International Award for Woman Icon 2023 to our Chief Guest, Professor Seema Singh Ma'am, Honorable Vice Chancellor Rajshri Tandon, Open University, Prayagraj. Okay. Ma'am, can you please, ma'am, come up on the stage, please? It's our pleasure that you are here with us. Please, ma'am, welcome. The award is a check of 11,000 INR and a memento as a token of love. Ma'am, please join us. Now, ma'am, please stay on the stage. Please stay. Now, I would like to request the dignitaries to present the Best Management Award 2023 to Dr. Neelu Ghosh ma'am, Principal, D.D. Chaksi College of Secondary Education, Palanpur. Ma'am, please.
You can call all CM members also. They are here.
I would like to request all the CM members to please come upon the dais. Please, ma'am. The award is a check of 5,000 rupee, Indian rupee. Yeah. Proceeding further. Now, moving towards the end, I request Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to present a memento as a token of love and remembrance. Sorry for the delay, ma'am. Now, proceeding further, I would like to request Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, and the member of the organizing committee on the dais to present a memento, a token of love and remembrance to our chief guest, Professor Seema Singh, ma'am, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Rashtriya Tandon Open University. It is our pleasure to have you on the stage, ma'am. Thank you for giving your valuable time to us. Now, I would like to call upon our special guest, UK Singh, sir, retired government officer, Indian Railway Traffic Services, sir, to please come up on the stage. And I would like to request all the dignitaries to present a memento as a token of remembrance and love. I would like to request our Dean, Faculty of Education, and the organizing committee members on the dais to present a memento to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for being here with us and sharing your valuable knowledge and experience. Now, to end this inaugural session, I would like to request Professor Anuj Raj, sir, Head, Department of Education, to propose the vote of thanks. And immediately after the vote of thanks, we will be having a group photograph session. And at the end, we will be having the national song. Sir, please.
Thank you, Arun. Really, it is a great pleasure for me. And just we are conducting such a wonderful inaugural session today. And the theme is Futuristic Trends in Education Research and Development in Global Scenario, which is jointly organized by Faculty of Education and Internet Quality Assurance Cell, Swami Vivekananda Subharati University, Meerut, in collaboration with Council for Educational Administration and Management, CEAM India. Really, Jai Hind to all. Thank you in such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by heart. I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this special occasion. I would like thanks to all honorable delegates who bless us with their presence. I am also very much thankful to all program advisory committee members and invited speakers. Words are not enough to thank their constant guidance and support to save this conference. Really, it is great. First of all, I thanks our founder, Dr. Atul Krishnaji, because without the vision of this, we cannot move ahead in online, offline mode. In very strong, very beautiful university, we are just conducting this international conference. And our late founder, the Mukti Bhatnagar ma'am. Also, I first of all thanks my both eminent, we can say, the visionary and missionary behind this all this scenario of this university. Really, it is great. And I also thanks, I honor to opportunity have a present the special occasion, the Faculty of Education, Swami Vivekananda Subharati University. A special thanks to our Major General Dr. G.K. Thaplyalji, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Swami Vivekananda Subharati University, whose guidance and leadership we were able to organize such a wonderful event. He is dynamic and rightly said that the education cannot change our thinking process, so without which nothing would be there. Really, he spoke so many things about the Sustainable Development Goal, NEP references, and we should conduct the research for the society. Thank you, sir. Definitely, we will go for this thing, and we hopefully our suggestions will be just fruitful for all the research and all the delegates and participants. Thank you, sir. You are just become a part of this event. Thank you, sir. Now, I just thanks to our icon, we can say the woman icon, Professor Celia ma'am, because she is chief executive, and in absentia, I have proposed the vote of thanks because without her motivation and support, we cannot move further, and we cannot just organize this such wonderful event here. But not the least, but I also thanks to our special, and we can say the chief guest, today's speaker, Professor Seema ma'am, the Vice Chancellor, Rajshri Tandon Open University, Prayagraj, UP, India, who graced with us his kind, her kind words. And really, we thanks ma'am, special thank because you are very busy. You can just came from the Allahabad and you can just move from IGNU and then you can came here. And within the last week, you were very busy. And thank you, ma'am, because you have just spare your valuable time here and you just spoke about the pedagogy and Indian, we can say soul of pedagogy, we can say, which is the begin from our Vedic period to at modern technology era. Really thanks, man. And you could just touch our hearts also and use a soul of pedagogy. We really work on these things because we are just from the Department of Education. And also I thanks to our speakers, VM Sasi Kumar, because CEAM is our partner and he just provided so many, we can say, the advice and speakers and all the things. And he always keep touching with our organized team and organized secretary and all the people who work hardly. And I thanks to all of you, and special thanks goes to Dr. BM Sasi Kumar, sir. Thank you, sir. And really, it is, we can say, that our foreign speakers, such as Martin Oliver from the Institute of Education, University College of London. And really, I thanks you because you have just speak on the management of in global scenario and how can we just run the present educational system and with help of the good management. And really, it is a great, sir. I thank you once again. And Dr. Lyudmila S. Veselova from the Russia, and he was the associate professor and St. Petersburg University, Russia, and really she spoke about the modern university and how about the project-based learning. Or how really, ma'am, you are just offer us to just jointly, we do the joint project with this because you have given some opportunity to us, and really we just do the hard work on this thing, and definitely we will prove ourselves in this university. I propose my special thanks to all the delegates and the special two awardees, Professor Seema Man and Professor Neelu Ghosh, because she just win the award this thing, and we think that next time we will win this award. Everybody will just go for this good vibe from this event. Really, thank you, ma'am, because your hard work shows this just reflect from these awards. Really, I without proposing my board of thanks, because our the beyond is all deans sitting in our fronts, and this is the core values of our university because all deans are here. I thank you, especially all the deans, really all the HOIs, all the delegates from the different parts of India, abroad, and students, participants, media team, even the administrations and all the, I thank you, all of you, because without your help, we cannot succeed this event successfully. And we would here without hard work of organizing committee internationally. And thank you our volunteers for working so hard to make today's program successful. If the time is money, we can say that then today you have spent millions of us. Thank you all of you making this event successfully. Have a wonderful staying at Subharti and enjoy the conference and campus life Subharti. And I will say another thing because सोले में एक point था कि अगर सोले में कहते हैं ना कि गब्बर सिंह का एक डायलॉग होता है कि बताओ यार, एक अमिताभ बच्चन का एक डायलॉग होता है, उसके बाद अमिताभ बच्चन उसमें हो जाते हैं, उसमें कहते हैं कि बताओ तुम्हारे पास क्या है, तो वो कहते हैं मेरे पास मेरी माँ है. ठीक है, अभी वो कहता है तो हमारे पास क्या है, हमारे पास हमारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं. तो रियली आवर पार्टिसिपेंट्स हियर and I thanks to all participants who just present this event में उन्होंने कई papers दिए हैं, तो हमारे पास हमारे participants हैं. I really thanks to all. So I congratulate all of you, and special thanks to organized secretary, Dr. Ruby, our anchor, Dr. Arun, Mumtaz madam, and Dr. Manju, because they conducted very well. And special thanks to our IT team, because they are just we can say spread this event in offline or online mode. Thank you IT team, and thank you media once again, and thank you sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, the both Vice Chancellors, our Subharti University and Rashri Tandans, our deans, thank you our deans, because without supporting our dean, we cannot move further. And he's very cooperative, supportive, and always motivated us to just organize this just a wonderful thing. Once again, I thanks, because there are so many committees and all the members. If I forget any name, please मुझे माफ कर देना, माफ मत करना, लेकिन उसके बाद जरूर कह देना कि थैंक यू मुझे कह देना. Okay, really thanks to every aspects who was just working behind this, and really I thanks to all, even those who are not material also this thing, thanks this mic and all the things, because they are working very good here, and thanks to all the teams here. Thank you once again, really. And after that we will just go for the next go for the national song, and after that we will just start the next sessions regularly, because you have received your program schedule minute to minute for the next speaker schedules. Okay, thank you all of you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request all the deans, director, HOI, HODs, and organizing team members to come up on the stage for the group photographs with the dignitaries. Sir, please. All the members of CEAM, so please come up on the stage. A special guest of the day, UK Singh, sir. So please come up on the stage for the group photograph. And I would like to request Dr. Neelu Ghosh ma'am to please come up on stage and to present the award which was still remaining with us. Can we have the award, please? Dr. Taliyedi, sir. Sir, please come up on stage. Now, I would like to request everyone to please stand up for the national song. I would like to invite the chorus for the Vande Mataram. The national song, begin.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam Sufalam, Malayaj Sheetalam, Shasya Shamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Subrajot शोभित द्रुमदल शोभिनी सुहासिनी सुमधुर भाषिणी सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरम्.
Jai Hind. Once again, thank you one and all. You can now proceed for the tea and lunch break. For the guests and dignitaries,